Hi everybody, thank you for tuning into another video on TK's Tech Corner. Today we're going to be taking a look at another retro handheld. This one here is by a company called MagicX Mini 028. Now I've had quite a few retro handhelds on the channel. They typically have been from Unbox or Mayu, such as this one here. But this is the first time I'm reviewing a MagicX unit. Now I think this is effectively an upgraded version of, I think it was their Mini U or whatever it was called, which I haven't got, so there's not going to be a comparison of, but we're just going to check this one out for see what it is for what it is, and test some games on it, because that's what it's all about, right? So in the box we've got some screen wipes and a screen protector included. Looks like a tempered glass screen protector. You're typically seeing these shipped with a lot of the retro handhelds. The Mayus generally come with them. The Unbox, depending on which one you buy, will come with it as well. And I'm trying to get it out without breaking it, but believe me, there's a tempered glass screen protector in there. There's 4 small screws, which unsure yet what they're for. Maybe they're just spare screws, maybe they're not, I don't know. We've got an instruction manual which we may need to refer to, and in here I'm guessing we've probably just got a charging cable. So immediately I notice, unlike the Mayus, you don't get a case. This is more like an Unbox experience, where you open the box and you've got a foam cutout protecting the controls and screen, etc. I just want to quickly open this and then get this out of the way. So yes, there is a wrist strap in there, as well as A to C charging cable, which we're not going to really need, so I'm just going to pack that back away. There's nothing else in that box. So first things first, let's get the box out of the way. Right, that's out of the way. Let's get this thing out of its little plastic insert. It comes in a plastic bag, as you can see there, and there it is. Fairly nice form factor overall. 2.8-inch screen, as I said, and we'll go through the controls and how they feel in just a minute. I'm just going to quickly go through the specs on this thing. So we're talking about 2 gig of DDR4 RAM, that's 1866 megahertz of RAM. This supports 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi networks. It doesn't say anything about 5G or 6E or 6, etc. So 2.4G specifically is mentioned. A whole bunch of emulators, and we'll see some of them no doubt during this video. It apparently has an Android OS on it. So I'm not really sure how that will work, because I've never really tested an Android retro console before. There are plenty on the market, so this will be the first time we're testing one on this channel, and we'll see what it's all about as we power it on. Stereo speakers, we've got a lithium ion battery, 2800 milliamp hours or 2900 milliamp hours, which is stated to give you about 7 to 8 hours of gameplay. And also supports so micro SD cards, and I think the slot is there somewhere, so we've got 2. We're typically seeing a lot of consoles with 2 cards on there now, so we've got one there, that will focus eventually, and we've got one on that side as well. Weighs about 129 grams, and you can see the size there, right? So let's quickly go through controls. D-pad, really nice choice of D-pad, I think, from my perspective. It's a really nice feeling pad. It rocks very nicely. It's got a very slight concave design, as you can see there, so the thumb rests quite nicely in it, and it's a generously sized D-pad. It's not too small, and it's also not too large. The analog sticks now, these are apparently Hall effect sticks. They do feel very smooth. They're set mostly into the body, but there's enough of a cutout around them to support full movement of these sticks. Now, one thing I immediately like about these, and I've said this when I test a lot of controllers on the channel, is I prefer the convex design. So you can see that, right? So these are, sorry, the concave design. So these are concave, as you can see, they're in, right? So your thumbs generally sit into them, nest into them, and that gives you a lot of traction. Now, especially when you're playing on a small device like this, I think that traction is very nice. Now, I'm just going to quickly bring in this one. This is probably my favorite at the moment, the Mayu Mini Flip, or Mayu Flip, whatever they're calling it. Now, this one has got dual analog sticks, which are again mostly recessed into the body of the actual console. Now, this one has got more PS Vita style sticks where they're actually concave. Now, being very, very small, they have got nice rubber grips on top of them, and they do offer good traction, I'll be honest, but they are still a little bit more slippy now compared to this. So these felt very, very nice until about 2 minutes ago. These, I wish these sticks, or these caps at least, were on top of that, because I'll be honest, these feel like there's less chance of your thumb slipping off on them, right? The buttons, ABXY, nice small buttons there. Maybe they could have been a little bit bigger. I like the color combination of the RGB and yellow on black. It looks very nice. They've got a very, very nice travel. They're not micro switches, they're membrane buttons, but they have got a very nice, satisfactory feel to them, and hopefully they're going to be responsive when we test them as well. Then on the bottom of the screen, we've got, I think, what is going to be a home button or back button, depending on probably what you're doing there. So you can see that there. It looks like it's got the letter G on it, I think. On the bottom, we've got a 3.5mm headphone jack and the power button, and also the stereo speakers, so dual speakers there. On the back, I'm guessing, I don't think there's an active fan in there. I think it's just probably some ventilation. We can see the screws there. They don't look like the spare screws that are included, so I really do wonder what they're for. I'm guessing that's a power light, start, select buttons, pretty standard stuff there. Moving on to the top of the device, we're seeing two USB-C ports. One is an OTG port, which is nice, which means we can probably connect a HDMI port to it, or maybe a hub, so that we can pass through maybe HDMI, maybe network connectivity, etc., through hardwired network. The OTG port is going to be interesting to explore, see what it can actually support. And then we can see another USB-C port just dedicated to power, so charging the device or powering the device if it's low on battery. Volume locker up there, and there, sorry, volume rocker. And then slightly interesting layout for these buttons. So these are very close. Now, my preference would be that they were a bit further apart. I do like what we're seeing here. I like this combination a lot. There's a good distance between them. These ones stick out a lot more than these ones, so you can lean over. You can hit these ones with the insides of your fingers, and this is perfect for this sort of form factor. Now, what I'm seeing here is, whilst we've got really, really nice buttons that curve around the corners, I'm immediately noticing they don't seem to be very pressy on the sides. So you kind of get them depressed there. My preference is I can hit them with the insides, and it seems like a bit of an effort to do that. These ones are very, very close as well, so you might mistake them with the same button. Yeah, you can feel the gap between them, but they really are very close, and I can see they've been angled up to raise them slightly. You'd probably be hitting them on the insides there where they're most raised, so that they feel okay, I suppose. They've got a nice response. I'm not sure about the positioning. These bumpers, I'll be honest, they feel a bit dead to me, but anyway. Right, so let's power this thing on. I don't know what it's got in there. What has it got in there in terms of storage? I think this one's got I think you get these various options. It's got a 128 gig micro SD card there. You can see just about focused. Let's try and get that back in. Goes in upside down, and let's hit the power button. If there's charge on here, we'll test some stuff out. Right, blue power light there. Not too bright, not in your face, which is nice. The MagicX logo that I am seeing for the first time, myself at least. Screen doesn't look super bright at the moment. Just going to open this up for comparison. This so far is still my favorite. I think this form factor is just crazy. But specs wise, I think this is probably going to be a little bit more powerful than this. It's got double the RAM, that all-winner CPU that's in here. I think it's going to be cracking as well, because it does feature, I don't think I mentioned actually, it features it's an all-winner Cortex A53 CPU, and I think that's more powerful than the one that's in here. So we'll see what we get. I'm not sure how the Android with 2 gig of RAM thing works, to be honest, but right, there it is. It's powered on. You can see it there. First thing I'm going to do is probably just flick through. So I'm using the bumpers to flip through, so you can see all the different systems that are available in here out of the box. Amstrad CPC 464. Oh my gosh, that brings back memories. Arcade, so this is probably going to be a bunch of MAME stuff, I'm guessing. 7800, Atari Lynx, yes. Excited to see that. I had Lynx. I have no idea what these are. Dreamcast, Family Computer. I remember that Game & Watch. There's going to be a selection there. Game Gear, Classic, Game Boy, Game Advance, Color, all sorts of, all the stuff that we want to see. It's all there. N64. I like the skins on these as well. That's quite nice. Very different layout to what we're typically used to seeing with a sort of standard retro arch layout. Sega Saturn. Wow, okay. So when I'm pressing these buttons, I'm switching through the systems. This button here is doing something else. It's getting me through the menu on the top. No touchscreen on this one, but they have got a touchscreen one coming. Stay tuned. You might see that on this channel one day if they send one through. You never know. So this is flicking through the different menu options using the, what is this, R2, L2? Yep. Okay. I've got battery life indicator and Wi-Fi network indicator there. So let's go through some of this stuff and see what we've got. System settings. I might just get connected to Wi-Fi quickly. So before I start pairing and just show you this, I mean, this is kind of Android-y, isn't it? I have no idea how to go back, to be honest, but I'll figure it out. That goes back, right? But you see that's kind of a, I think that's got a bit of an Android vibe to it, right? Anyway, let me get on with the network connectivity. Just quick Wi-Fi connectivity test, so you can see Wi-Fi is connected there, absolutely fine, no issues. Use this button to go back through the menu system. Maybe, oh look, yeah, so you can see airplane mode, VPN, hotspot and tethering. So you can see this really is an Android operating system. Let's go back more to see what other options we've got. Looks like there's Bluetooth connectivity as well, so we could probably pair maybe a Bluetooth controller while we've OTG'd this up to a display. Apps and notifications, so I wonder if this is your app store. It's showing what's open, it's not an app store. Right, sound or storage. Interesting. Must be a lot of stuff on that card. Yep, I guess there is. So this has come loaded for us to test out. So we can sign into other accounts, probably sign into the Google account in a bit, and get hacked the living daylights out of, no doubt. So you can see system options. It shows their quad-core all-winner A133 CPU that I was talking about as well. So we've got some software and hardware information there. Android 10, I thought it was Android 13 for some reason. Not really sure why. Patch level, Jan 5, 2021. How open are we? Google Play System Update 10. I don't know if that's supported anymore, but anyway. Don't know if there's any option to update this. Maybe just try an update. Let's have a look. Where would it be? I don't know if there's any update option here, so I'm sure we'll find it somewhere. It's quite hard to hold this thing up, and just seeing if there's any update options. If there are, I'll show you, but if not, no problem for now. There's some keyboard so one thing, when I was entering the Wi-Fi password, I had to hold the right mouse button down for a couple of seconds and it brings up a mouse pointer like so, and then move the mouse pointer around with this, and when you click the left stick in, so L3, it will actually select what you want to select, like that, for example. So if you're wondering how to actually interact with the keyboard, because we haven't got a touchscreen, that's how I did it. All right, so I think the most important thing we're ready here for is to test out some games. It has got an applications menu here, which I'm probably not going to mess around with right now. Let's test some stuff out. Actually, let's go straight to some PlayStation stuff. PlayStation Classics. Well, what have we got on here? I'll try and hold it up. It does get a bit tiring. Wonder if we've got I'm actually going to just find the game quickly. Right, we're going to try out Ridge Racer. And I've gone backwards, haven't I? Yep, 8 to select. I think the volume might be semi-up-ish enough. Let's see what this is all about. We can see the frames per second recording on the top there as well. Interesting to keep an eye on that. Screen isn't super bright, by the way. I'm going to see if I can just find a brightness option for the screen. So back in the systems menu here, there is a brightness option. So I'm going to put that, oh, that gets very bright. Maybe I'll just put it down to 90. That feels nice enough to me. Right, there's also a night light. Right, good old Android stuff, I suppose. Adaptive brightness. I'd be surprised if that works. I don't know if there's a light sensor in there or not, but let's just turn that off. Really irrelevant, to be honest. And the other thing I did notice also was, while I was looking for this, there is something here around performance. So if you go to CPU performance settings in their sub menu, you can see by default it's on balance. So I'm just going to put it all the way onto performance, so we can see what this thing is capable of. And now I'm going to go back to where I was, Ridge Racer, type 4, 60 frames per second. This is going to be cool. Still holding a good, to what I'd call that, solid 60 frames per second, I'd say. So I've tested a bunch of games. As you can see, this thing is performing really well. If there's anything else you want me to test on this, just ask in the comment section below. I don't mind doing a few tests for you guys if you want to see how it performs on your favorite titles. Other than that, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please leave a thumbs up. Any questions about this awesome device, please leave them in the comment section below. And if you haven't already done so, please hit the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. I really appreciate the support on the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.